be wedded to the concept that politics don't have place in policing. You don't have to go very far, just look wherever the system was being introduced. There's nothing has eroded the confidence in policing. Public confidence down like a zero. In this country, we are very proud to have a huge confidence in our policing system, and I'm afraid this one will delay the whole roll back to the zero. I think we will lose the confidence in policing.
What do you see as the priorities in Reading?
The Reading is a part of the Thames Valley, so you can't see any Reading in isolation from that part. So I will be seeing it as a part of the whole Thames Valley itself. The PCC just won't be responsible for Reading as a whole, it will be responsible for the whole Thames Valley.
So what are your priorities?
My priorities will be the victim of the heart of policing.
Can you explain a bit more on that and what you plan to do there?
The victim is, we have a priority to catching criminals and lock them up, but we forget in the run that we have never supported the victims for the crime. Give them better support, keep them informed. Look at those people, the wonderful people who come on board to being a witness. We hardly support them. That's why they don't come forward to give the witness statements to start with. And sometimes that delays the whole court process because they can't find the right people to give the victims full statements. Sometimes people have a long time delayed waiting, they lose the interest and they're not prosecuted.
What would you say to anyone thinking of perhaps voting for you, why they should?
Sorry, say again?
Why should people vote for you?
I'm an independent person. I've been doing this job for nearly 11 years now as a member of the Police Authority. The last 4 years I'm the chair. Look at my track record and my delivery as a chair of the Police Authority. I'm leaving a very intact police service. I have provided a fully funded police service and we have made the right priorities. Crime is down and we take great pride in it. I want to continue supporting that.
Well, I've been on the Police Authority for about 5 or 6 years. I've run the Performance Committee, which sets the performance targets and monitors them. And I've also introduced neighbourhood policing, so I know a lot about the police. I've run a major business before, so I know how to control very large sums of money which the police involve. And I was in the army for a number of years, serving all over the world. My last operational job was running all the helicopters in the Falkland Islands. So I have the leadership, I believe, to take on running an organisation of 8,500 people and the financial acumen to run it properly.
And what do you see as your priorities?
The priority is a very simple one. It's to reduce crime. You can prioritise different crimes. They're all important. Some at different times are more important than others. We've got to look at the burglary rates, which we are improving the detection rates, and we're reducing burglaries hugely. We've got to look at all the antisocial behaviour that goes on late at night in our towns. We've got to protect vulnerable people. We've had various issues with that. There's a whole panoply of things we've got to do. In the rural areas, we've got to cut down the crime that's being committed against the big farms and the small farms, and we've got to cut metal theft. It's a whole variety of things, and it all comes under basically crime reduction.
Obviously, politics has been touched on tonight. Can you give me your sort of view on why you feel where politics fits into this? Your opposition candidates obviously feel, some of them, the independents obviously feel it's not a good idea.
Well, I'm a pretty independent person. I'm standing as a Conservative because I'm a Conservative councillor and I represent various villages in West Berkshire as a Conservative councillor. But I'm very conscious of the towns in our urban areas, what we have to do in them. Reading has always been my hometown. And as I said, I'm not a career politician in any form or shape whatsoever. I just want to do this job and do it well.
In terms of Reading, the key priority will be crime reduction and ensuring that we have a safer environment to live in, and of course to ensure that victims and witnesses have a strong voice. Those are the priorities that have been brought to my attention. But like I said, it's still an ongoing process because the more people I get to meet, the more I get to know about their different views. But every opinion counts, and I should also stress the fact that people are particularly happy that I have stepped forward as an independent candidate because they're disillusioned about politics and have no confidence and sincerely agree with me that politics should be kept out of policing.
Well, my background is in criminal justice. I'm not a professional politician. I've never earned a penny from politics. I've worked as a barrister for the last 11 years, working both as a prosecutor and as a defence lawyer. And that range of experience dealing with all types of cases, seeing how often the system lets down victims, has given me the passion and the ideas to want to run for this and to put victims at the heart of the criminal justice system.
And what do you see as the priorities for the job and also, from our point of view, for Reading?
Well, a couple of things. First of all, with the job, actually, because I'll be the first person in the role, protecting the operational independence of the police. Politicians should never get involved with deciding who gets arrested, who gets investigated. But obviously there's a role for politicians in the wider decisions about what's given priority. And in Reading, burglaries are a very big priority in Reading, though there's been progress on that. Antisocial behaviour, on-street drinking, and above all, keeping neighbourhood policing strong. There's been a problem with too much turnover in neighbourhood policing. The faces who are actually policing the neighbourhoods changing too frequently. So that's a big priority for me in Reading.
You obviously touched on the politics. You're obviously standing for a party yourself. I mean, is that the right thing to do, given all the controversy?
I do think it's the right thing to do. Because I stand for the Labour Party, people know what my values are, what I believe in. And also, within the Labour Party team, I've had a lot of expertise. Former Chief Constable Peter Neyroud, people who've worked in the probation service, helping me to put together a really well thought through manifesto. Having said that, if I get elected, I'm not going to be answerable to the party whips any more than, say, Ken or Boris were in London. And so I am very much my own man.